Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Solid as a rock. Many rise, many drop, but we solid as a rock. Them we think we would have flopped, but we solid as a rock.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we're having a wonderful town hall session. I have to commend my colleagues for some very incisive presentations here tonight. And of course, we want to hear from you, the audience. This is the whole idea, so I will not tarry too long because I want to hear from you. As I said, I have to commend my colleagues. They would have made my job a lot easier coming to the podium at this time. But brothers and sisters, it's always good to be in the Republic of St. Mary's South. Always good, and I will refer to this because I remember those struggles, those days, and we could have depended on Minister Baptist and his troops from St. Mary's South to be an integral part of the struggle and to play a leading role therein. But brothers and sisters, I just wish to remind all of us that these are very trying and challenging times. And as we have been saying, that you need safe hands, people who are really concerned about people and where this country is going in the face of the difficult challenges, to be able to steer that ship of state in uncharted waters to try to bring us safely to shore. And I don't think that you could have at this time a better group of individuals to be able to do that. And I can say this because of what we have been able to do against the backdrop of serious difficulties. A lot of these difficulties we would have inherited. Some would have come on board by virtue of the world economic situation. And we also have to admit that there might have been along the way one or two mistakes that we might have made. Not deliberately, but in our efforts to do certain things, we may not have got it totally right. And it's important for us to recognize that because that is what would help us to be able to come to terms with the future and to be able to change course wherever we find that we may be going wrong. So brothers and sisters, we want to do that. But we are really making some real efforts here. And some people feel that we ought not to be speaking about issues of the past. We should just speak about the present and dwell into the future. But that's a fundamental mistake, because if you do not understand and appreciate where the past and how the past would have impacted on you, you will not be able to properly deal with the present and to anticipate and to plan for the future. So it's important for us to understand this. For instance, my dear good people, we have a situation right now that we're dealing with. That situation at the airport, and I have to refer to it because people understand when we talk about the kind of mismanagement and the sellout of Antigua and Barbuda that took place under the Antigua Labour Party. We are fighting to modernize our airport, and the lands around the airport were literally given away to Alan Stanford when he was the king of Antigua and Barbuda under the Antigua Labour Party. He received those lands titled for them and paid $1.10 per square foot.
What?
$1.10. As a matter of fact, the government didn't even get any money at the time. They didn't get any raw cash. Because they owed Stanford money for what we don't know at the time. And so he said, well, look, you owe me money. $1.10 per square foot easy. Got all the lands around. now we come to be able to develop our airport, to modernize our airport in order to ensure that we can maintain that level and enhance it so that our tourism product and our hospitality industry and even to service our own people traveling public throughout the Caribbean, that we have to turn around, and after a lot of negotiations and so on, we have to pay between $18 and $22 per square foot for the same land that we own. This is what we're talking about when we make the comparison. Because they did that, and Lesterbrook had the gall to say that if he had the opportunity, he would do it again. Can you understand what we're talking about? These are the facts. But you know, we are moving on. Right now, we are in the first phase of that expansion program. There is a second phase of that expansion program, which we are negotiating at the moment, and very shortly we'll be able to get an understanding as to whether or not that second phase would be in place. But it is looking good so far, because when we are through with that airport project, my dear good people, Antigua is already a hub in relation to the movement of airline traffic in the region. But when we are through with that project up there, brothers and sisters, my dear good people, we will be not only the hub, we will be the main move gateway for airline traffic in the Caribbean. That is our aim, because we recognize Antigua and Barbuda is considered the most heavily dependent nation on tourism. So therefore we have to make sure that we keep moving, you know, and improving and enhancing and developing and advancing. And this is why we're saying to the people, those of you who have to travel tours or whatnot, we have to do this. So if we're asking you to pay a few more dollars so that at least we can ensure that we have a product that is at the level that is internationally recognized and can be compared with anywhere in the world, we have to do it. And so, brothers and sisters, we want you to understand that. Another matter that I quickly want to address, because I know it's topical, and it's the whole question of the economic citizenship program. I know that some people have their concerns about that, but you have to understand that we have to find ways and means, my dear good people, to advance the economy. We have to find ways and means to grow the economy. We have to find ways and means of creating investment in Antigua and Barbuda to create jobs for our people, my dear good people. And so we have decided that we are going to look into this economic citizenship program. We've gone to Parliament, we've done the first reading. We'll be having a series of public consultations with the people so that we can explain to you fully exactly what this involves and how we intend to get the program off the ground. We believe that it can inject into this economy good jobs, the creation of an investment climate that will make Antigua and Barbuda again, brothers and sisters, up there. We have looked at what has happened in one or two other jurisdictions where this program has been undertaken. So we are in a better position now to examine whatever the challenges were with those programs, whatever issues that arose in those programs. We would have had an opportunity now to look at those, and then for us to tailor ours to suit Antigua and Barbuda in terms of where we want to go. So brothers and sisters, my dear good people, I don't want any of you to be fearful. We understand and we know what is good for this country, And we believe that if we get it right, which I have no doubt that we will, this is going to reap very good economic benefits for this country. And this is what we are about. We want to make sure that we create the avenues that can ensure that we deliver. And you, your children, the society as a whole will be able to benefit. So we'll be coming because we know that it is a sensitive issue, and we recognize that we have to bring the people of Antigua and Barbuda with us on this program. So we're going to go out there. We have a task force of people who know a lot about these things, who have looked at the situation closely. They will be coming to the public with us, and we'll be explaining exactly how this thing is going to work, the benefits that are going to flow to Antigua and Barbuda without destroying our sovereignty as a people and as a nation. That is what we're doing. Brothers and sisters, this country is a good country.
Yes.
I have to thank the vast majority of the people of Antigua and Barbuda who have understood that the challenges that we face today, a lot of those challenges have not been created by us. We have been impacted by a situation over which we have no control. We are a small island state in the Caribbean, and so are the others, in a world that is dominated by powerful countries. We cannot influence in any significant way the decisions that are taken by these powerful nations. And even these powerful nations today are wobbling. They're going through all kinds of difficulties. The great United States of America, look at Europe, look at what's happening with all these countries. And are you suggesting to me that people are coming to tell you, trying to convince you, that we could create miracles in Antigua and Barbuda completely oblivious of what is happening around us? I mean, come on, give me a break. As Lester would say, give me an aspirin. I mean, the thing about it is what I cannot understand is how sensible people could look at the situation that we are facing here, the world is facing, the Caribbean is facing, and then turn around and say, well, oh, don't worry about all that, man. Somehow or the other, Antigua and Barbuda is just this magic one, so we can defy all the economic theory and economic practice and ignore what is happening in the world today. That is not the case, my dear good people. But we have steadied the ship here in Antigua and Barbuda, and as I keep saying, and one or two of my colleagues also accept this, if you had the Antigua Labour Party in office today, this country would have collapsed totally. Totally! It's a good thing, and the mighty God up there understands the situation. And that is why, my dear good people, we are in office today. Because the God of heaven and earth recognized that you need the safe hand, and the United Progressive Party is that safe hand in these challenging times. And just one last thing I have to say to you before I take my seat and give you the opportunity to interact some more. I keep saying this, and I hope that Antiguans and Barbudans appreciate the point that I've been making. When the United Progressive Party took office in 2004, the name of Antigua and Barbuda was mud, thank you very much, throughout the world. Nobody respected neither our leaders nor the citizens of Antigua and Barbuda. Sometimes, you know, when you're going to Puerto Rico, going to other places, all kinds of hassles you used to get. because we were considered a rogue and a bandit state, a country that does not respect any kind of standard laws and policies governing the relations between themselves and other countries. And we suffered as a result of that. Our image was in the gutter. We were nowhere. Nobody respected Antigua and Barbuda. Even our leaders then, they could not even go to some of these international fora and represent Antigua and Barbuda because nobody bothered with them. That was the reality, my dear good people. In 8 short years, we were able to transform Antigua and Barbuda from being a rogue and bandit state in the eyes of the world to being a respectable state once more, where the views and opinions of Antigua and Barbuda are constantly sought, not only in the region, but throughout the world. That is what we have done for this country. Restore respectability. Restore integrity. And with good governance. That is what we have done, my dear good people. And let me tell you, we can't pay the price for that. Because those things mean so much, my dear good people. Why you think that your humble servant is being recognized by the international community? It's not me, the individual. I happen to be the Prime Minister, I happen to be the leader of the country. So therefore the focus will be there. But it's not me. What these people have seen is that Antigua and Barbuda, under the stewardship of the United Progressive Party, has done some fantastic things to turn the image of this country around. And for that, they feel that we ought to be recognized. And if they have to use me to give that recognition, so be it. But I take these things with all humility for and on behalf of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. You are the ones who have done it for your country. That is the position, my dear good people. So we have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We are prepared to admit where we might have gone wrong in some areas. But when you look at the whole situation on balance, we have done exceptionally well under difficult and trying circumstances. And that is why we have to continue with the refrain, safe hands in challenging times with the United Progressive Party. Thank you very much. Good night. Let me hear from you now.